Well, we need to remember that trade is like water. You put an obstacle, it goes around it. And this is what is happening. First, tariffs that were announced after negotiations and agreements went much lower, from 23% to, by our estimates, what is collected is more in the order of 9%. To the rest of the world continues to trade. And not only that, but we have seen an increase in bilateral and plurilateral trade agreements. Why is the world trading? Well, because majority of countries, small, medium-sized countries, they cannot produce everything at home. They need that integrated global economy.
The president of the ECB, Christine Lagarde, told me at Davos that what is happening at the moment is the biggest, whether it's Greenland or the trade or tariffs, whatever, it's the biggest wake-up call to Europe. Mm-hmm. Is Europe up to that wake-up call?
It better be. We see in Europe tremendous potential to lift up competitiveness, productivity, and growth. Why is it not happening? Well, 27 countries, it is hard for them to reach an agreement, and Europe really cherishes consensus building. But consensus building takes a long time. The world is moving so rapidly, Europe has to adapt. It is not going to be the other way around. At the fund, we see a potential for Europe to increase productivity and growth by 20%, provided they focus on completing the single market. And in completing the single market, there are really four things that matter, Richard. First, 28 regime for firms. When a company wants to invest in Europe, it should not be doing 27 different investments because of different regimes of registration. Two, it has to get Capital Market Union. Europe renamed it. It is now called Savings and Investment Union. Okay, fine. What matters is...
Different name, same problem.
Same problem, because a shallow capital market in Europe, what does it mean? It means that 300 billion euros of European savings are somewhere else, mostly in the United States. Three, they have to bring energy union that is truly one, same pricing, same structures for all countries. Four, I'm sure you heard about movement, free movement of people. Yeah, people move, but their qualifications cannot move. So
this is basic stuff.
Totally basic.
So why would Europe still fiddling around trying to solve it after all these years?
Well, very simple, because different countries have different stakes in these issues. Some are against the Capital Market Union because they like banks doing business rather than the capital markets. Others feel that they need to protect their labor from the influence of countries with lesser qualifications. In other words, 27 countries, right, all of them producing red lines. So what Europe now needs to do is take the time, wipe out the red lines, and concentrate on its performance as one economic union. And that would be good for everybody. People want to do business in right, Europe, but it's too complicated
I want you to take those problems, and, sorry, let me pull you.
No, that's okay.
I want you to take those problems and relate them to the Gulf, because the GCC has played around with many of the same concepts, and single currencies right the way through to free markets, labor, but it's unwilling to go the next steps.
Well, join the club. The Europeans can share a lot of their experience of what not to do, and I recommend to the Gulf, listen. In the Gulf, I am very enthusiastic about what I see. Much more interest in harmonization of regulations, more collective decision-making, more focus on interregional trade. Potential for that is huge. And the Gulf is now thinking about institutions, how to make the Gulf Cooperation Council a more impactful institution. I actually would say this: don't copy the European institutions, they're too complex, but copy one thing from Europe that I find incredibly impactful: Airbus. When Europe came up with Airbus, it did something fabulous. It created a very potent competitor to Boeing. Now, every second aircraft on this planet comes from Europe. So, for the Gulf, get your Airbus.
Oh, hang on. What does that mean in reality?
Well,
because
it could be a joint project in artificial intelligence. The Gulf is well advanced in that area. I don't know what it would be. What I do know is that it makes a huge difference in how you integrate your economy when you have that common project.
How do you get over the sovereignty question, which can also be, in my words, not yours, the ego question? Because Europe is now having to come with AI that you can't have 27 champions. You're going to have to decide who's going to be the European competitors to the Mag 7 of the United States.
It is very difficult. I am not going to sugarcoat it. When you talk about capital markets in the Gulf, obviously there is competition, and rightly so, because there is strength in capital markets that have emerged. But if you want to compete in the world we are today and we will be tomorrow, you have to overcome differences, and you have to come up with that sense of unity of purpose. And I think the Gulf has demonstrated capacity to do so. What I now see in discussions with ministers of finance, with central bank governors in the Gulf, is maturity that for sure can help the Gulf to go in that direction of strength through unity of purpose. And yes, competition, because that is human nature. And competition is not a bad thing. It makes us do better than we would have otherwise.
How do we...
Can I say to the audience from the Gulf, I admire what you have done in two areas. The first one is investing in human capital. You have done it before AI was popular. But because you have done it, you have such a strong comparative advantage today when this new technology is coming to life. And secondly, and we feel it right here in UAE, you recognize the importance of dialogue and cooperation. And that, for you, for the Gulf, very important, but for the world we live in, is so important. So thank you, UAE. Thank you, Gulf.
When, please God, you and I are in good health and they kindly invite us back next year. I mean, they'll invite you back, definitely, but me, who knows?
I only come with you, Richard.
Fine, we'll come as a team, just in case you're wondering. You want to book one, you get two. But when we're here next year,